Hello. In today's video, we will discuss the enhanced feature released by AWS CloudTrail Lake. Before we deep dive into CloudTrail Lake, let's have a short review about CloudTrail, the traditional CloudTrail, which was announced way in November 2013. So, organizations managing cloud infrastructure in AWS required an effective mechanism to audit operations for all their resources in AWS accounts in with respect to security and compliance. So AWS had announced CloudTrail as an auditing platform in 2013, where millions and millions of customers have adopted this service. And this has been offered as free for 90 days with every new account that was created. But the challenge was with the log analysis. User had to use third-party applications to analyze activity logs or use Athena and run some SQL queries. In many cases, there was a need to build a data analysis solution for effective analysis of CloudTrail logs. But now, AWS has given us the new platform called CloudTrail Lake, which simplifies the CloudTrail analysis workflow. This removes the need to maintain separate data processing pipeline that span across teams and products to analyze the CloudTrail link events. So, for a better understanding, what is CloudTrail Lake? You can say this is a managed security and audit data lake that lets organizations to aggregate, immutably store, and query events recorded by CloudTrail. So let's break this terms to for a better understanding. Aggregate activity logs, meaning you can store events from an organization in the event data store, including events from multiple regions and accounts. Immutably stored. By default, event data is retained for 7 years in event data store. Query events. Run SQL queries based on your events. The complex queries can be run to get the desired results. Now, let's have a brief comparison between the CloudTrail Lake and our classic CloudTrail. So let's take the classic CloudTrail first. So earlier in CloudTrail, we have to specify the log storage location. Okay, example of S3 bucket, and the events were not encrypted by default. You need to specify the encryption, whether it has to be AWS managed KMS or a customer managed. So we need to specify that. And the, there were chances that the events can be tampered. Okay, and when it comes to the kind of running queries, it was a simple key and a value lookups in events history or running lookup events. But when you compare it to CloudTrail Lake, the managing auditing solution is managed by AWS, and all the events are being stored in an event store, and these events are being encrypted by default. Third, events are immutable, and you can run complex queries on multiple fields on events. So uh, we can get into the more details to understand what do you mean by running complex queries. When you say what type of queries can you run, well, you can find, let's say you have a scenario where you want to find all the APIs that a particular user called in a specific date range, or you want to find the instance ID, the AMIND, and tags for the specified instance type and a region, or you want to filter the put object calls for a particular S3 bucket within the specific data range. So everything is possible by running the SQL queries across multiple fields on the events. Now, when it comes to the pricing part, okay, this has been offered as free for 30 days and it's pay as you go after the expiry period. Okay, the more details about how to configure this CloudTrail Lake, how to run this SQL queries, we can deep dive into the console and let's take a look. So you can choose the service CloudTrail. So in CloudTrail, choose the option Lake. Now the first thing we have to do is we need to create some event data store. So go to event data store, create. You can choose the custom range, like how many days you want to retain this particular data. Let's say I want to retain it only for 7 days. You can, the by default maximum is about 7 years. You can choose the way you want. I say it's my CloudTrail. You can choose if you want to use AWS KMS key or you want to use customized KMS key. Accordingly, you can choose the encryption option. Move to the next. Here you get two options. Either you choose CloudTrail events or configuration items. So CloudTrail event is basically all the activities that is being performed in your AWS accounts, and configuration items, anything on the resource level, which shows about the compliance status or the kind of record changes that has been happened. For this video, I'll keep it as CloudTrail events. In CloudTrail events, again, you can choose you want to what type of events you want to record. You want to record management events as well as the data events. If it's a data event, if you choose, and then further you have to choose the type of resource like S3, DynamoDB. So what is the type of resource about which you want to record the data events? So for the sake of this video, I'll just keep it as management events only. Okay. And if you want to enable this across at your organization level, then you can check this option. Else you can leave it blank. Come to the next option. Next, you can review all the settings that you have enabled and finally click on the event data store. So you can see the event data store is creation in progress. Okay, so let's wait for it to, it's enabled. Good. Now you are ready to run the queries. Before even I take you to the editor tab, you can just have a look on the sample queries. These sample queries are the AWS defined, ready-made kind of an SQL queries. So according to the scenarios, you can choose the kind of queries you want. For example, you want to know who are the most frequent console users that logged in last week, or you can see what is a particular type of an API call was being made, by whom it was being made. So you have a lot of queries to explore here. Accordingly, you can choose the query type. In case you want to write your own SQL queries, that is also possible. So you can write your own SQL queries, let's say in the editor tab. Choose the type of data store. In my case, it's my CloudTrail. Okay, and you can choose the query to run. Now, in my case, let's say I want to, I want to know what is who created the bucket. Okay, between the period of, let's say, for example, and to this period, 3rd to 12, who created. I want to know. So the event name is create. So I want to know the user who's going to create it. Okay, so you can just, for this, important thing is you have to give the event store ID. So you get that event store ID here, just there, and you can replace it with this. Okay, that is basically which is the log storage from where you're going to fetch this data. So I'm going to run this. My query is run. Let's see the results. You can see the query is run. Okay, just now we have run and the query is successful. Okay. So there was no actions being performed. That's the reason you get 0 records matched. Else you will get the respective responses. Okay, this is about creating a event data store and running the specific queries, and even you can save this particular queries over here. Okay, you can use these options to save the queries. Let's say, for example, I go here, save it, give a name, let's say S3, and save my query. Let me S3 query. Okay, you can save this query for future. So that's your query, and you can see use this for your future. So this is a short video, and hope I have given you a detailed information about what is CloudTrail Lake, how to create it, how to run the queries in a very customized option. Hope this is helpful to you. Thanks for watching my video. See you soon.